Welcome to Sober and Lit,
the podcast for women who want to get sober, stay sober, and live a life that's way more lit than it ever was with wine.
We're your hosts, Ruby and Susan, two alcohol freedom coaches keeping it real with stories, tools, and zero judgment.
Whether you're sober curious or all in, you're in the right place.
Let's feel lit, alcohol free. Welcome to the Sober and Lit podcast. I'm Coach Ruby and I'm here with Coach Susan, and we are so excited to talk about what's coming up. You know, summer will be like starting to wind down, and you know, you might start thinking about September because that's when school starts, and it's always like a time when Change is a good time to happen and start something new. You know, a lot of times in the summer you have holidays and vacations and things you're doing, but this might be a good time to just start to think about exploring your relationship with alcohol. And I used to always say, oh, I'll just stop tomorrow. I'll stop tomorrow. And I did that for years, like years and years and years. I was expecting my tomorrow Ruby to figure this out, but you got to kind of start figuring it out today or now. I just always was like, oh, I'll have the energy tomorrow. I'll stop tomorrow. I'll figure this out tomorrow. And I was literally doing, I call it Groundhog's Day. It was just always doing the same thing, always waking up going, oh, I did it again. I drank again. Why can't I, figure this out? Why can't I stop? Those are the words that I said in my head. And that was my story, was just this constant, how do you get off, this Groundhog's Day cycle, this like a vicious cycle of just being exhausted from work or from whatever, from a vacation. Have you ever heard I need a vacation from my vacation? Maybe you're in that place, because when I was on vacation, I would drink a lot too. So wherever you're at, we're here. You're not alone. And I want to ask Susan, tell me about your story around this.
Well, yeah, I did the same thing. Like when you said vacation from our vacation, that's what we always used to say. We'd come home and joke around oh, we need to go to Betty Ford, or that's literally what we would say. But then a lot of times we would come home from vacation and stay in this vacation mode, and we would drink every day. Whereas before, I didn't drink every day. I was mostly a weekend or wine Wednesday or whatever, but we'd come home from our vacation and just keep the vacation good times rolling and sitting out on the deck and making margaritas or whatever it was. And sometimes that's what happens when you go on vacation. It's you bring home this parasite, this alcohol parasite that sort of lingers and takes over. And I used to do the same thing, is why can't I figure this out? Why? And I love what you just said, Ruby, about I was expecting tomorrow, Ruby, to figure this out. And that just makes sense because it makes our brain calm down. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll figure it out tomorrow. Because our prefrontal cortex brain is going, wait, this is not probably good. We need to do something about it. And our subconscious brain is hey, I'm loving all these dopamine hits and this is fun and let's keep the good times rolling. And so just by putting it off, makes our prefrontal cortex go, okay, we'll figure it out tomorrow. But the truth is our brain does not like change. And so all those excuses that come up and push back on why this isn't a good time to change. For me, I never did a dry January because my anniversary is in January. This was oh, I can't do it this month because I have my anniversary. But then you go February. Well, I can't do it in February because of Valentine's Day. Oh, and then I can't do it in March because of St. Patrick's Day. Can't do it in April because of Easter. You could come up with a reason for every single month of why it's not a good time. And so that's why yesterday.
Right. The phrase, when's the best time to plant a tree? It was 20 years ago, but you got to plant it today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because where will you be if you continue on this trajectory, right? Because the train doesn't go backwards. Unfortunately, I tried to push the train backwards. I tried so hard to control it, and to make changes that would last in moderating my drinking. And it was exhausting, exhausting. Yeah. And the train doesn't go backwards. It really doesn't. So
it's so true.
Yeah. So if you continue this drinking? Where are you going to be October 1st? Where are you going to be November 1st? December 1st. There's many, many reasons not to explore your drinking coming up in the next 2 months, right? Or like by November. So that's why September is the best time.
Yeah. Or now's the best. Yeah. I love this.
Time. Yeah.
But you're making such a good point around that. Like, it only goes forward. So when you make a decision and just to start something. So again, if I go back to like what I kept telling myself as like, when do I stop? When do I quit? And that was so hard for me to wrap my brain around, I think. Mm-hmm. So instead of this like stop, quit energy, what if you just make a decision to start exploring? Mm-hmm. Isn't that so much like, it gives me like, it's like, oh, that's, I could do that. I could start exploring, start getting curious, start something new. Rather than quit or thinking, oh, that's forever. My brain would be like, I can't stop forever. Like, well, what will I do if I have a stressful day at work? Or what will I do if I'm out with friends? But if we start with start energy and make a decision. I love this visual. You use the visual of like a train, but what if it's like stepping on to a moving walkway? You know, when you're at the airport and you're at that moving walkway and you can step onto it, make a decision and just start exploring, experimenting, getting curious. You know, you don't even have to stop necessarily. The beginning can be just curiosity and awareness. And that self-compassion piece, you know, like, It's okay. It's okay if I drank. You know, it's okay. I'm just here to learn and experience and put that start energy in. Yeah. You know, it gives you a little more excitement too, I think. So this like fork in a road. I know we've talked about a fork in a road in previous episodes, but it's such a good point to make that you can keep going down the train that Susan's talking about and just keep drinking and saying, tomorrow, Ruby, tomorrow, you will figure this out. But the only way to figure it out is in the present you right now has to like go, okay, I'm going to make a little change, just a little change. And that little change could be deciding or joining a program. Like we're going to do a Feel It 21 again live with coaching. So something like that, this fork in the road. Cause really it's true. Like in 30 days, so much can improve in just 30 days of not drinking. Like here's some benefits from one of my clients. Her name, I made up her name. We'll just call her Jane, but she had improved sleep in 1 month. That was one of her biggest problems. She had clarity, like at work, just overall feeling better, less bloating and brighter eyes. And then we met to, we meet and we were brought up at 2 months. How are you feeling now at 2 months? And she said she had less anxiety and fewer headaches. She was one who always had migraines and a lot of headaches and increased energy. And then same thing at 3 months, I said, how are things now? And she's like, I'm actually losing weight and exercising in the mornings and living really a better life and consistent sleep. She said the migraines were gone. I think in 3 months, or the last month, she had only had like one small one, and just looking younger, connecting with her kids and husband. I mean, this is like a better life. So cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to circle back to that start energy you talked about.
Okay.
I love that. And you know what? What better time for starting new things than September? That's a time when school used to start. Like I loved a new school year. I mean, you got your new school outfit, and like got all excited about your new teacher. And like, I don't know. I loved a new school year, and I love at least the fall here in New England is beautiful. It's crisp. The seasons change. It's almost a natural seasonal time just in the natural world to explore starting something new. And that start energy, I love that compared to quit energy.
Yeah. Exactly. So Susan, can I ask you a fun question? Sure. What was your favorite back to school outfit? Like, can you come up with one that you remember?
Gosh. I don't know. It was always something fallish. And I grew up in California, which is where you are. And it was always still stinking hot in the beginning of September. And so we would all put on whatever our new outfit was, corduroys or, whatever, a jean jacket or something, and like be broiling the first day of school because we
the sweater. You're like, I want to wear my new sweater. I just thought of my one. I think it was my sophomore year in high school. My mom, I did a head to toe outfit. She said, I will buy you one outfit. And I had little like short cowboy booties that were white. And I had this long skirt. This is like 1986, you guys. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, anyway. Back to school energy. Yeah. I always think that commercial, it's like it's a Staples, I think, commercial where it's like, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And like the guys going through Staples, putting in all the school supplies going, they're going back, because all the kids are going back to school and all the parents are like, phew, thank goodness, Woo. Yeah. So it's a great time. Like the air is crisp, at least in New England. And I do have to say it's the best time of year in New England. Absolutely. Hands down. It's gorgeous. The humidity breaks. It's still sunny and sometimes warmish, but it's not super humid. And I don't know. So digging into even the natural energy of the season to like harness that energy to give you that start energy, towards something new. And again, it's about learning. It's not necessarily about quitting. It's about learning, exploring, being curious. And wow, where could we be in 3 months? We're going to be at the holidays. Can you approach the holidays with more clarity? Feeling better about yourself. I know I have a client, you were talking about your client's benefits. I have one recently that just hit 30 days. And she just feels, this is more of the internal thing. She feels empowered. She feels stronger. She feels like she has more clarity. She just feels freer, healthier, and like how great to finish off 2025 feeling healthier and freer. And starting a new year, making some progress around your drinking. And we're not saying it's progress, not perfection, right? So I think every seasonal change offers a natural opportunity to dig into that season's energy. Mm-hmm. And again, when you think about the fall, the leaves are falling off, like what could fall away naturally?
Ooh, what a good visual.
Season time. Yeah. Falling away of the dead things. Just, releasing some things. I don't know.
And let's get real. When you hear this, we are already in August. What happened to 2025? Like, oh my gosh, if you're continuing I'll just stop tomorrow, that, like I started like with make a decision and have some start energy to this. Like we keep talking about, it's the time is now. It really is.
It is.
We have the present. Again, I'll say it again. You could have planted a tree 20 years ago, but you can plant it today. Because when you plant a tree, let's just use that visual. It's like planting a seed. You make a decision. You hop on this moving walkway. You let yourself learn and explore and build this beautiful tree where we describe one little seed can create a tree trunk with branches and leaves, and it affects your whole life becoming alcohol free. It's the best thing I ever did. Hands down. I will never regret this alcohol free journey and doing this work, to get there, self work. It's priceless.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, we say this all the time. We never hear from anyone who decided to change their relationship with alcohol that says, it's okay. It's always, it was the best decision I ever made. And so even if you're listening and you're like, well, like you, Susan, September is my anniversary or my birthday or my husband's birthday or my daughter's birthday or whatever event that you normally, Labor Day, you would normally drink. If you don't want to make a change because that is an occasion that you would normally drink, that says something right there. right? Can you go to one birthday? Can you go to one anniversary? Can you, whatever that event is that maybe in your mind is like, well, this isn't a good month because of this, and this. Can you do those things without drinking? And if you feel like you can't, that's telling you something about your drinking. I mean, and I'm saying that I'm telling on myself, because that's what I used to do. But that really says something, right? About your relationship with alcohol, and just to think about that as well, Or
even try half of an event alcohol free. See what it's like for maybe the first hour. And you'll be a little bit in your head, but you can go, okay, this is going on. I'm picturing, because I went to a music event recently, and just what's it like? Am I really enjoying? Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but you just start exploring it.
And experimenting. Yeah. I remember when I was in my experimental mode, if I started, so it's just like you said, start the event having an alcohol-free beverage in your hand. And I remember doing that, and everyone else was having wine, and we're sitting there, and I had my sparkling water in my wine glass. And I all of a sudden realized, I'm good. Whoa, I don't need to have wine. I'm engaging here. We're going to start playing a game where oh wow. It was really an epiphany moment of like, wow, I'm good. I don't feel like I need wine. And what better way to just explore by taking all the pressure off? Like you said, do half the event, but then just see, do you still really feel like you need to drink in order to do this activity? And if you don't, just don't drink.
Yeah. And also be open to, you've decided you're going to have the first hour alcohol free, you're going to have an alcohol free beverage picked out, but maybe you're enjoying yourself. So you go ahead and order the second alcohol free beverage.
Yeah.
Maybe you end up having an alcohol free night. Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Susan, this is such a good conversation. I've learned so much from you, and that whole seasons. It's so cool. I love it. And you have more seasons in the East Coast. You said California. Yeah, it's more similar the whole year through in California. Yeah, I think fall is a good time for new beginnings. Well, this is the time in our episode where I get to ask you, Susan, what are you doing in your life to feel lit alcohol-free?
Oh, so I've been studying and working and on different ways to regulate my nervous system, and really digging into the polyvagal theory. And there are so many different ways to reset our nervous system. And so one that I want to share today that is a favorite and a fan favorite of the groups that I coach in, where I offer some of these tools, is this one's called the Self-Hug and Physiologic Sigh. And this is great. You guys can try this. So basically you put your left hand on your right shoulder and your right hand on your ribs, and you give yourself a little hug. So you're hugging yourself, and then you breathe in, and then you're going to do another little breath in to really fill up all the way to the tippy top of your brain, and then let it out on a sigh. So
sometimes I feel good.
Yeah. So let's just do it again. So breathe in, you're hugging yourself, and sometimes your shoulders will go up on the second breath. So you breathe in, and then breathe in again, and then let your shoulders drop. Yeah. Maybe do that 3 times. And so, that's what I've been teaching in some of my groups. We need a way when we feel overwhelmed, when we're exploring our drinking, to not always feel like we have to reach for the bottle. And so there are many, many ways to get yourself out of the sympathetic, which is the stress mode, and get into the rest and digest, or just the, to calm your nervous system. And it takes practice. So just practicing some of these tools when you're aware that you feel like yourself getting into the stress mode and going, okay, I'm aware of this and I'm going to use this practice. So it's practicing the tools that we teach. We teach these, in our alcohol-free programs, because we don't want to take something away and just leave you hanging, right? If you used alcohol as a tool to to regulate your nervous system, which most people do, to either upshift or downshift, to either give your energy to like get through the rest of the night or to downshift and finally relax. If you're using alcohol as a tool to do that, we want to give you a different tool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just want to try. I mean, we've given you lots of tools, even in this podcast. If you listen to all of our Feel Lit sections, there's like, well, however many episodes we've had, like 80 different things. And a lot of these, you just try and see what works for you. And I love just trying it. If it works for you, like right now, I just felt better. So I'm going to keep doing that. Like I felt calmer. I was like, it reminds me of when I'm in yoga. At the end of some yoga, sometimes the teachers will say, just breathe out audibly, like, ah. And then we all kind of, as a whole group goes, ah, and then, but it feels so good. It feels so relaxing. Yeah. Thank you for teaching us that.
Welcome.
I think that, well, our listeners will really resonate, I think, just having another way to calm yourself down. If you think that or if you're using alcohol to calm yourself down, try this. What's the name of it again, Susan?
I call it self-hug and physiologic sigh.
Okay.
So it's a combo because you could just do the self-hug or you could just do the breath with the sigh, but this is like a combo move where you put them both together.
Yeah.
So, and this is the kind of thing that we teach in our coaching, and we teach, and again, to your point, Ruby, when you said, each one of our episodes has a Feel Lit. We have our bingo card, which has different ways that you can practice, and it refers to the episode. So you could look at the bingo card and see all the different tools that we offer and like, oh, I could listen to that episode and learn that tool or learn that tool. So you can get that in the show notes. But also this is what we do in our Feel It 21 program is we are going to be teaching you different tools with us for 21 days with a coaching call each week. So actually we have 4 coaching calls where we, you get coaching from us and we may offer you a tool like this or any of the tools that are in our toolbox, based on where you're at to learn and explore your drinking. And so, we would love for you to join us. We start on September 1st. Which is Labor Day, but don't use that as an excuse not to join because we're just exploring.
That's our kickoff. Yeah. Our kickoff meeting is on September 1st. We're calling it Sober September. And I hope that you've heard, like, from when we talked about the benefits from our clients, like the benefits of quitting alcohol are clear. They're immediate. Like many people start to sleep better right away within a week at least. So really today is a perfect time, or September 1st if you want to join us, because it's just you become happier, healthier, you feel better. I mean, you want to feel better, right? I just wanted to feel better. And I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just always had that kind of hangover-y brain fog. So we invite you to join our Feel It 21 live. Again, it's live because we're coaching once a week for the 21 days, first 21 days of September. So we're really excited, and we'll have all the links in the show notes. So please join us.
Yeah. We'd love it. And there's the physical benefits. There's also the mental benefits, the clarity, the being able to look yourself in the eye and don't even think about it as quitting. Think about it as, if that word like freaks you out, just think about it as taking a break.
Yeah,
exploring,
starting something new.
Starting empty. September.
So we have a community that's off Facebook for this group, the Feel It 21 community, and again, coaching, and we have the content where you'll get an email every single day with an actionable item, something to do, listen to, or practice. So join us.
Yay. And we get to meet you. That's even the better part. Like when we're on the calls and you get to meet other women who also are exploring their drinking, and that Me Too factor, you realize you're not alone. You're not the only one. And the people that we attract also seem to like get along with each other. Like it's super special time. It really is. And I know sometimes people are nervous and afraid, but don't be afraid. It is a beautiful thing to come together. Women's circles, that is another way to regulate your nervous system, is just coming together, being seen and heard and loved. And this is an opportunity for that too. And we'd love to meet you and see your beautiful face on our calls.
All right. This was such a great fun to hang out with you, Susan. And thank you, listeners, for listening, and join our Sober September. We'd love to see you there. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the Sober and Lit podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you would subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps get the word out.
And remember, do something today to help you feel lit.
See you next week.
Don't forget, join Feel It 21 Live starting September 1st.